here is the word Holy Bible and Holy Quran. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the I out of Bible, which is the Roman numeral I. The Roman numeral I means 1. The first letter of the alphabet is A. So the A replaces the I, and the word Bible becomes Babel. All I'm going to do is add it to the end part of the Quran, so to the An. So this becomes Babylon. It leaves the Q, U, A, and R. I'm going to take the U because when I'm talking to you, but if you're referring to yourself, you is I. It's the same person. You are I. So the U becomes an I. I'm going to add the I to the R, A, Q. And what we have is Babylon and Iraq. And we all know that Iraq is Babylon. And here we have the phrase, hanging Edens of Babylon. I know that Edens means the Garden of Eden. And I know in the Garden of Eden was the first man. So the word man replaces Edens. So now we have hanging man of Babylon, hanging man of Iraq. And who is the hanging man of Iraq? It is none other than Saddam Hussein. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to explain the second coming to you just like I did before, but I'm going to just back it up and confirm it. Jesus is the Father in the flesh. And we know that Jesus' father's name was Joseph. So Joseph would be Jesus. So Jesus is Joseph in the flesh. We're going to use Joseph Zeitz to explain the second coming and to fulfill the Jesus criteria. Jesus was a sacrificed lamb. Joseph Zeitz looks like a lamb, and he has a scar on the front of his neck, which means sacrifice, so he is a sacrificed lamb. Lisa, which is I, has woolly hair and 2 locks, as you can see, hair of wool, and 2 locks here, looking like a sheep. I have Ra across my voice box, which means slit throat, which represents sacrifice, so I would be a sacrificed lamb also. Jesus was hung. Joseph's scar on the front of his neck, that also means hung. And Lisa's tattoo of Ra across the front of my neck also means hung. Joseph's neck busted open. He had some problems when he was younger, and the front of his neck would bust open and it would become Ra. Well, I have the tattoo on my front of my neck of the word Ra, which means Ra. Jesus' hands or wrists, depending on what picture you look at, they were nailed upon his crucifixion. Joseph has a sister named Hannah, which is Han, and backwards, H-A-N, hand. So hand in hand, which means the nailing of 2 hands. Lisa, which is me, I have tattoos on both my wrists, which signifies nailing of the wrist. Jesus' 2 feet were nailed with 1 nail, but it's giving the appearance of 1 foot, but it's really 2. Joseph's last name is Zeitz. The Z's turned becomes N's. You add it to the I-E, and this is 9, and the T left over means cross. 9 is the same as 6. So what that is 1 number, but really 2. So it's 1 foot, but really 2 feet. And if you look at the tops of my feet, they are tattooed, which also signifies being nailed. Jesus was speared in his side. When Joseph was born, he had to have a colostomy, which also signified being speared in the abdomen. I have a scar, pardon my fat belly, but I have a scar here from my gallbladder surgery, which also signifies being speared in the abdomen. Jesus is the light of the world. He is the sun, which is the sun, and the sun is blinding. Joseph has bad eyes. I guess he's really legally blind, and I looked at the sun, and I have bad eyes now too. Jesus was baptized, and when he came up out of the waters, he heard his Father's voice. There was a time when Joseph was about 2 years old that he knocked over a pitcher of water onto himself, and I screamed his name, Joey. and he heard my voice. And after then, things were never the same. He looked at me differently. It seemed like he was afraid of me. And that was his baptism. And I, Lisa, have also been baptized. Jesus' right-hand man, well, that was Peter. Joseph's first playmate friend was a little boy named Peter that I would bring to play with Joseph on the weekend. And my first playmate friend was Peter's father, Peter. So I guess I have shown you the Jesus criteria. And if I meet the Jesus criteria and Joseph meets the Jesus criteria, well, I'm 41 years old, so I came first. Joseph is 8 years old, so he came second. So I guess I just gave you the second coming of Christ. Now, just for a little reassurance here, Joseph's mother, she's a Taurus, and Taurus represents the bull. As you can see here, my nose is pierced. I have a bull ring. You can't deny that him and I are the same, and you can't deny that we're the same as Jesus. We represent the first and the second coming. If you look on my video, you will see that I have reduced Jesus to a light bulb, therefore he never came. I came first, Joseph came second. We are in the second coming. His mother is Tony Hilbig, but her name transfers into Big Hill, which that is Moses, because Moses went up into Mount Sinai. And Joseph's sister's name is Hannah. If you take the H and you turn the H backwards and you connect the two, it becomes an M. Add it to A-N-N-A and you get manna. That's Moses. Thank you, people.